Hello, everybody. How are you doing? How are you doing? The first thing I'm going to do before I say anything else, can you guys please let me know if you can hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Somebody put yes or no in the chat. I'm talking. Can you hear me? That's the first thing I want to know. I want to make sure before I get started too much whether or not my sound is working. It should be, but we shall see. Somebody type in the chat right quick if they can hear me, please. Somebody. Kingsbury Craft? Yes. Okay, Robin. Great, 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 great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, you guys can hear me. Wonderful. So we're not starting off with that again. I was hoping that that would be the case because I didn't mess with it. I didn't mess with it, so I said it should be working just fine. Great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, hello everybody. This is Shirley with Shirley's Threadwork, and it is Tuesday, so it must be Shirley's Wind Down Tuesday. So thank you guys for stopping by. I do appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to everybody in YouTube land as well as everybody in Facebook land, and of course to everybody that will be watching the replay. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you guys for letting me know that you can hear me. Good. So we're not going to go through that tonight, hopefully. So there's a few people in here already. So let me say hi. Kingsbury Craft, how are you? Robin, Quilt Basket, how are you? Cindy Zachball, Becky Chisholm. Who else is in here right now? And Rebecca McKenzie's. Hi, 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 hi. And Jenny, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. So let me see. Did I get everybody so far that is listed on here? Thank you. I tell you, Tuesday comes around so fast. Seems like I just did Tuesday, and here it is Tuesday again. And I've been kind of busy working on my project for the quilt that we're going to be doing that we are doing for the social society crew that we will be presenting to you guys to see in what uh, in about 3 weeks or so. We should be finishing up with everything. Wanted to make sure everybody had enough time to get everything done. I am progressing pretty good. I'm pretty happy with my progress on that. Of course, I have all of my blocks made, and I'm in the process of connecting them all together. And I will be starting on the actual quilting process. If not tomorrow night, it would definitely be over the weekend. So I'm moving quite. Um, I'm pretty. I feel pretty good about my progress. So glad of that. Okay, let's see what is going on. Um, Before I get into tonight, well, this is also part of tonight's conversation because we're going to be talking about crafting tools that we have and we probably don't know what to do with them. We just tend to collect them. And based upon recommendations and things like that, we just kind of say, okay, let's give this a try, and so we end up with a whole collection of things. So craft tools we love but we don't fully understand, and tonight we're going to talk about it. Tonight is going to definitely be audience participation because what I want from you guys is to tell me what you have that you don't understand how to use it, or you have it, you know how to use it, you just don't because you found out basically you really didn't need it, or you used it for a little while and you just kind of put it by the wayside. One of the things that I can definitely say, so just to give you an example, I bought the Cricut mug press 4 or 5 years ago, and when I first got it, I used it quite a bit, and now I don't think I've used it in at least a couple of years, maybe. So not to say that it doesn't work or it's not useful, it's just something that I don't use a lot anymore. I also bought a tumbler press, and I haven't used my tumbler press, I don't think, since 22 when, oh my goodness, has it been that long? I didn't know. No, it had, I think I used it maybe in 23, but it's been a minute since I've used my tumbler press and my Cricut, not Cricut, well, even my Cricut Maker. Since I got my scanning cut, I don't use my Cricut Maker hardly anymore. Haven't used it, I believe, in about a year. I haven't used it since I've been here. The last time I've used these products that I just mentioned was before I moved from Maryland to Missouri. And let me see, even my sawgrass printer that's in the back, I I used it once since I've been here, maybe twice, and it's just kind of sitting, and that's an expensive tool. So those are some of the things that we can talk about that we have. We're not using them. What are we going to do about it? Has anybody ever thought about selling them or trading them in, upgrading, anything like that? I also have a Cricut heat press that is standing up in the corner that I have not used since I've been here. I went back to using my big clamshell 16 by 20 heat press because I had the room. So things like that. So again, craft tools we love, but we don't fully understand, or we understand how to use them. We just don't use them anymore for whatever reason that may be. So I gave you guys a big rundown of some of the things that I have. So while I'm talking, think about what you have and what you may not be using, or more importantly, for me and maybe for you, things that you actually purchased, because I have some of those that I got them and realized I don't know how to use this thing. I don't know what to do with it. I thought it was a good idea, but now that I have it, I have yet to figure out how to use it. I was trying to find one that I thought was right here, but it isn't. And so, anyway, so let me see who else has popped in here. Hi, Angela. How are you? And Eva Marie, Quilt for Joy. Let me see who else has popped in here. Carolyn, how are you? And Claudette, how are you? Okay, so we're getting a nice little crowd. Marissa, how are you? Um, and Angela, she's always one that does this for me. I'm gonna have to put this on my ticker tape because I always tend to forget that. But thank you so much, Angela. You're always keeping me on point. Thumbs up, hit the thumbs up button. You're in here now. When you first come into the chat or just go online, and even if you're watching me from your phone or your TV, you still can hit that thumbs up button. Please do that because it does help the channel so much if you do that. So I would appreciate it if you will do that. Uh, okay. So yeah, I think I have caught up with everybody that I wanted to acknowledge before I went any further. Yeah. Okay. The other thing that I'm going to talk about, or just briefly, I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it, but I did put a little video on my channel the other day. I was approached by a company that sent me a couple of hoops that they wanted me to just kind of demo and just put a little snippet video up showing me using it and talking about it a little bit. And I did that. I posted it. It is a Soul Talent um, hoop, magnetic hoop. So let me show you this right quick. This is a 5x7, and it's move it this out the way. It's for my SC 1900, which is the flatbed that I have. So it's basically for flatbed embroidery machines, and it is available for numerous different brands. So, and I have a link below on this video. So if you're was below the video that I put on my YouTube channel, that's where the link is, and I will add the link to this one as well. But if you're interested in it, and what really impressed me about this particular one, and I'm not really, gosh, keep saying my connection. I hope that came back. Connection kind of went away and came back, but anyway, hopefully it's back without an issue. What I like about this is I do have a magnetic hoop for my SE 1900, but not these kinds of magnets. These are some very strong magnets. They will hold your stabilizer and your fabric or your garment or whatever down really good. And it reminds me of the sash hoop that I have from Brother, because you literally can do long projects and pull them down. If you have a like a connection, you know how you do the repositional hooping on your flat needle machine. Well, you can use this like a repositional hoop, where you can just kind of move your magnets down so you can slide the fabric or your project down and then put the magnets back on it. That's what impressed me about this particular hoop. So I just wanted to let you guys know the video is up if you're interested in it. I do have the link. There is a discount if you use the link that I have. If you're interested in checking it out, purchasing it, or what have you, they come in various sizes. This is the 5x7. Comes in various sizes, and it also comes available for various uh, brands of single needle embroidery machines. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. And there's another hoop that I got that I'm going to do a little video on as well. It is actually a belt hoop, and I got to get a belt. I don't have a belt that I wanted to stitch on, so I haven't done it yet. So when I get my belt, maybe it'll be by the weekend for sure. I'll get it and I'll show you how to put it together, put it on there, and hoop your belt so you can stitch on a belt, dog leash, sashes, all of those kinds of things. And it is also So Talent as well, which I think is a So Tech company. So just wanted to put that out there. If anybody is curious or interested, just click on my link and check it out, and then go from there. If you want it, order it. If not, that's okay too. Hi, my son is on here. So hello to my son. And let me see, Joyce. Hello, Joyce. Who else has come on here? Da, 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 da. And Robin, you say you saw it, and it all when it flashed off, it came back. That's good. Thank you. Glad of that. Leslie, hi. Are you Leslie? It looks like you're on here as well. And Jenny, you said you saw the video as well. Several people have seen it. It's got at least the last time I looked, it had like 90 views or something. So I know people have seen it. And I have to tell you, it's the first time that I put a video up on my YouTube channel in over a year. And I'm using I'm always switching stuff up, but I'm using a new editing software. And it kind of took me by surprise. It went straight public, and I wasn't expecting that to happen. And anyway, the next one I put up will be certainly a little bit better than the one that went up, because it wasn't the best that I've done, but it worked. And Eve, you're answering the question about something that we have and we don't use. Eva Marie says, I have a 5-in-1 heat press, a Brother Scan and Cut. My 5-in-1 is hard for me to clamp down. So I got a HTV runt press. I am learning to scan and cut. I've had it for 3 years, bought it to pair with my 1700E. Yes, we tend to do that. I had a 5-in-1. I believe it was a 5-in-1 heat press. It was a swing away, and it was a, I believe, a 12 by 12. That was my very first heat press. I didn't use any of the apparatus, which I thought was pretty interesting. I bought it and had all of these different parts to it, where you could heat press on plates and all kinds of. I don't even remember what all you could do, but it had different things that you could heat press. And I only used the regular heat press platen for shirts and stuff, but I ended up selling it. And my son, that's on here now, gifted me with the heat press that I'm currently using my 16 by 20. He did an upgrade for himself, and he gave me the one that he had, which I am still using. And I really want to upgrade on that one, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm seriously thinking about, and you guys let me know if you know anything about it, or I don't think it's out yet, but it seems like HTV Run is coming out with a new heat press combo type um, piece of equipment that does multiple heat pressing. And I don't know if you guys watch Katrina Graceful Creation, I believe is what it is Katrina. And she bought a new house last year, and she was doing all kinds of remodeling and stuff like that. And she's doing extremely well. And she does a lot of different things, and she uses the Ricoma and blah blah blah. But anyway, hopefully you know who I'm talking about. But anyway, she did a demo on a X tool. I believe it was an X tool heat press that is a multiple heat press. It does heat pressing. It does it has like a drawer that you can put your tumblers in. I forgot what you call that, but you can heat press from that. Back in the day, long time ago, even my son had one, or still has one, where you actually put your tumblers and stuff in there and close it up, and it does the heat press, similar to the oven, but it was more flat. And then it also does the molding heat press, like the new HTV Rum mold thing that does the phone cases and stuff. Well, this X2 heat press combo machine does all of that. I think it's a 3-in-1. Now, I'm thinking what I read, HTV Runt is coming out with something very similar to that, either this month or next month. Has anybody heard that, read about it, seen it, or anything, or was I um, dreaming? And yes, even Maria, it is called a swing away. Thank you. I did have a swing away, and it was a 5-in-1 or 6-in-1, something like that, probably similar to what they're talking about. And Quilt for Joy says she has the Cricut Auto Press and love it. It opens on its own once the time is done, so you can set it and walk away. I have that. That's the one that I'm talking about that's in the corner. And you're correct. It does. And I really like it a lot. I am not disappointed with it. The only reason why I'm not using it currently is because, one, I don't have room for both of my heat press, and two, the 16 by 20 is larger than the Cricut Auto Press. The Cricut Auto Press is, I think, 15 by 12, whereas I have a 16 by 20, and therefore I can do something a little larger, because I was doing some jacket backs and hoodie backs and stuff, and my design was out like 18 inches, and I wanted something that was large enough to cover that. And the Cricut is the largest, it's a 15 by 12, if I'm not mistaken. That's one of the reasons why I haven't invested in the HTV Run heat press, because if I'm not mistaken, it's a 15 by 15. And I like the big one. It takes up a lot of room, but I do like the big one. And Jenny, you said you haven't heard about it. And Cindy said, you haven't heard about it. And Rebecca says the Cricut press is heavy. You're correct. And they lied. I remember when I got it, the other reason I got it is because the advertisement that Cricket was making at the time made it look like it was going to be mobile, where you could set it up, use it, take it down, and slide it in a little corner. If you guys remember the little ad and advertisement, once I got it, then they have on a picture that's actually on the heat press itself where they indicate is a two-person uh, heat press where two people need to move it. I've moved it myself because I do stuff like that. But yes, I think it's like 50 pounds. It is heavy. Once you get it set up, you're not going to be wanting to move it around. That's for sure. And yes, Quill for Joy said, yes, it's 15 by 12. And it is heavy. And even Marie said that's a very generous size. I don't know which size you're referring to, but the 16 by 20, I love the size of that heat press. It's the perfect size. I don't need the 16 by 24. That's a little too big. 16 by 20 for me, I think is the is a good size. All I want is an auto press where it will well it doesn't even have to be auto. I want to be able to pull it out. Mine is a clamshell and you can't pull it out, and that's the only complaint that I have, because you have to be very careful when you're maneuvering and putting your garment and everything under there to make sure that you don't hit the top and burn yourself. And it's kind of hard to make sure everything is arranged all the way in the back the way you want it, because when it comes up like that, you don't want to go back so far where you may very well end up burning yourself. So for me, it's a little dangerous, I'm thinking. And if I had it at a higher level than what I have it on a table that's supposed to be for a heat press. But again, I would much rather prefer one that pulls out, where you can set it up and everything. And like the HCV run comes out, you can set up your garment and then it goes back in and close. And if it's an alto, that makes it even better. So maybe one day I'll I'll do that. But yeah, the 16 by 20 is a generous size. So anybody else have anything? So we talked about rulers last week and everything, and I showed you what I had. You guys talked about what you have. I did mention to you all that I had, and what did I do with it just that fast? I don't even see them, and I know, oh, I know, they're over here. I did mention to you guys that I had bought some free motion um, templates, or rulers as they call them, from Timu. And I just wanted to show you what I got there. They have some very good designs. I have yet to use them, and I don't remember what I paid for them, to be honest about it. Really cute. This one is looks like a leaf or a heart or something. This one is really cute too. These are the ones that I got from Timu, believe it or not. But I have not tried them. I may or may not one day, because I don't know. I've never done free motion quilting at all, but I was curious as to what Timu had to offer, and I decided that I would give it a try. So I wanted to show you guys that. Carol said, I have not used my 14 by 14 Mighty Hoop yet and have had it a couple of years. Okay, that's, yeah, I get it. I get it. Um, I have quite a bit, and I don't know if you guys have, or you specifically, Carol, since you said you have one, if you have seen my video on YouTube with me using my 14 by 14 Mighty Hoop. I have at least two, if I'm not mistaken, where I'm using it for jacket backs. And if I remember correctly, I did a live demo on my Tuesday night where I did a jacket back. I think I used the 14 by 14. I think I did. But I do know for a fact I have at least two videos on my YouTube channel where I am using the 14 by 14 Mighty Hoop. So give it a try. Try a real simple design because that's what I did when the first time I used it. I didn't try to do a jacket back or anything. I just used flat fabric. I chose a simple design because I wanted to make sure I understood the concept of how to use it and that it would work. And I did. The most important thing is that you need a software that can split your design because it is a split design process because of the nature of our machine the what is it called, a pentagram or whatever, it's only going to allow you to go back so far and out so wide. That's why we could only do a 13 by 8 by 13 or 8 by 14 hoop. So the 14 by 14 is kind of a, 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 a hack, or it fools you because it will do half of your design and then you have to take it and flip it around and it does the other half. And if you use the software to split it when it does the other half, it joins perfectly and it makes one full design and it doesn't even look like that you divided it in half. If it does correctly, I've had success with it quite a bit, but I've also had some failures. So you have to be careful. Um, Jenny said those look cool. I think you're talking about my Timu free motion hoop things, templates. And Carol, you said I have seen your videos on the 14 by 14. Just need to play with splitting the design. Yeah, splitting the design is the key. You have to split the design in order to do it. And if I'm not mistaken, don't you use Embrilliance? Because if you use Embrilliance, you can split the design with that software. If you have Embrilliance Enthusiast, it has to be the Enthusiast module in order to split your design, if I'm not mistaken. And Cindy, you say you have the biggest, I have the biggest magnetic hoop for your luminaire, and it's the largest magnetic hoop for my dream machine. Both are dying. They are fantastic for quilting. I have never ever sent a quilt out. I do my own. Yes. With the luminaire being 10 and a half by 16, I believe it is. I believe it's 10 and a half by 16 because I think the Avenir is 10 and a half by 18. Ooh, that's a dream. But yes, you should be able to do whatever you want to do with that. Now, let me do another plug. And I don't know this for a fact, but I do know that some people have complained about the dime magnetic hoops not staying together because I don't know how strong that magnetic hoop is because it's just two pieces and you just put them together. That much I know. Whereas the magnetic hoop, which I just showed you, that particular company has the hoops with all the different magnets so you can put more of the magnetic feel around. You might want to look and see if they have one for the luminaire. I think they do. Maybe give it a try. I don't know if there is an issue with you doing your quilting and stuff. Obviously, it's not since you say you've been doing it for a while, but that's just a thought and a suggestion because I do know that I've been told by several people that their dime magnetic hoop comes undone sometimes and they use clamps or something to hold it together. Um, and even Marie, I have 3 flat embroidery machines and need those magnetic hoops. I see they have made some larger size. Okay. Well, check out Soul Talent. Click on my link and go to their site and check and see what they have. And Cindy, you say yes, it's 10.5 by 16 for the luminaire, and you've had success with no fails. That is perfect, perfect, perfect. That is my dream machine. But I have to tell you, I was not interested at all. Well, I won't say not at all, but I wasn't so interested in the Avenir that I would even consider doing Avenir versus a Luminaire, because Luminaire, I'm saying, okay, they're going to be cheaper because they're being discontinued, or they are discontinued, and everybody moved to the Avenir. And so you could find some Luminaires, but that doesn't seem to be the case. The only Luminaires out there pretty much and that I'm aware of are used luminaires, which is not a bad thing, but I was hoping to find a new one. But anyway, the Avenir is upgrading. They have a upgraded kit, and I don't know if it's on the market yet, but people went to H&H, and I saw some videos also, and Avenir has stepped their game up with some of the upgraded features, and the couching feature that they have available uh, is phenomenal, especially if you're interested in anything that looks like crochet and you don't know how. Their couching will crochet for you, and it looks just like you actually, well, it does couching, and it looks actually like crocheting. It is phenomenal. And I know there are some other features as well with the upgrade, but that's the only one that sticks in my mind. And like I said, it's tempting, but that money, honey, it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. What can I say? Carol, you said you also got a stitch regulator with your Bernina 570, but don't quilt or do free motion, so I don't think it will ever come out of the box. Okay, we're gonna have to get you into quilting. They got me into quilting, so what can I do to get you into quilting? How can I persuade you to try it? Why don't you go to what is it, fat quarter the Fat Quarter Quilt Shop. Check out that tutorial series that they have, and make a little quilt. Make a little quilt. Somebody asked me about wanting to see the one I did, the very first one I did, and I meant to pull that out. So you guys hold up. I know exactly where it is. I showed it to you, to this group, on a Tuesday when I first did it. This is the first quilt that I did, and I don't know which way is up or down or whatever. But as you can see, it has different blocks. I think it's a total of 9 different blocks. And they teach you how to do all of them. It's 9 or 12, I don't remember how many rows. And I did everything. I even hand did my binding, and I did quilt it on my my 10 needle machine. Now that I did the edge to edge, but I did not do it correctly. So my quilting isn't beautiful. That's the only thing that I think that I messed up on it, because I didn't really know how to do edge to edge, but I did what I did, and it worked. And I'm very proud of my quilt because it's the first quilt I ever did in my entire life. And what impressed me more than anything were my points. I got my points, and I was so surprised, even though all of these were cut out by hand. I didn't have the AccuQuilt So I had to literally use a rotary cutter and rulers and cut it out. And it was a chore. And that's what made me decide, after I did that, that's what made me decide to do the doggone vacuum quilt. As you can see in behind me, where it is right there, my Go, it's the AccuQuilt Go. And I know they were talking about this new 12 layer die and everything for the AccuQuilt. But keep in mind that is for the AccuQuilt Big, which is the electric one, which costs almost as twice as much as that one. And Claudette says, Shirley, that is beautiful. Thank you. Hi, Danielle. Thank you for stopping by. Uh, okay. Where am I? Even Marie said, yeah, these machines are equal to a car. Yes, it is, because when I was in Florida looking at an Avenir, my son that's on here now, he was with me. Him and my husband went into the brother shop, dealership that we went to. And I went in there looking for a luminaire just to check out the price. They showed me the Avenir, obviously. And of course, they found out how much it cost. And that's exactly what they said. He said it's like buying a car. It's like buying a car. And Quill for Joy said, I have the dime magnetic hoop, the largest one, and I love it. It works great. But I bet I could buy some, excuse me, rectangular magnets and use my dime hoop the way the hoop is used that you made a video about. Yeah, you could probably. That's the only thing. And like I said, I know people that say that they are using clips, just clipping it, a clamp rather, on it to keep it together. Because I have heard that it has a tendency of coming undone, and you use what you have. And Cindy said, I have a pacemaker. My dealer let me borrow a magnetic hoop to take and have my cardiologist test it. We had to make sure there was no interference. So did that turn out okay? Because they do say you can't use the mighty hoops, the magnetic hoops, if you have a pacemaker. So yeah, I'm hoping that turned out well for you, and you're able to use magnetic hoops, because I tell you, they're game changers. They really are. And Quilt for Joy said, my quilt is pretty. Angela, um, all of that. And even Marie said I did a great job. I felt good. And Cindy said that is beautiful and love the fabric. Actually, the fabric choice was not mine. That came with the kit that I purchased. If you do this series on Fat Quarter Shop um, YouTube, which is free, and you do the series, they recommend that you buy the kit, which I did, and that's the fabric that they send you in the kit. So I didn't pick the fabric and the colors and all of that. They tell you what color to put with what and what to cut out and all of that kind of stuff. So I followed it to the T. And I learned a lot. Now, I don't remember everything that was taught to me right now, but what it did for me was it taught me about quilting, because I didn't know anything about quilting. I had never quilted anything in my life other than when I was a kid and we used to hand quilt jean quilts at home for necessity, nothing beautiful. You just stitching stuff together. But the art and beauty of quilting, I didn't know anything about it other than I admired it, because I've always looked at quilts as being beautiful. The workmanship and everything, when you create a beautiful quilt and how it just looks really nice, I've always loved it. I just didn't see any sense in cutting up fabric and sewing it back together. And I have to say, it still fascinates me that we tend to do that. But when you look at the end results, it's worth it. So I'm not mad about that. I'm still very much on the fence about cutting out little bitty 2.5 inch squares. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I might and I might not. But the only reason why I'm pushing quilting, which is really weird for me to do, is that it's a new skill, and I just love learning how to do things. And I love embroidery. Nothing will ever come before embroidery, but I want to learn even more. And the thing about quilting, you can combine the two. You can do quilting and embroidery because you're actually piecing your cover, as you know. And then once you get it sandwiched, then completed and sandwiched, then you got to actually do the quilting. Now, do you send it out? Do you quilt it on your machine, on your sewing machine, which is what I did with the one that's hanging up? That's what I did. That's what I did with my coat. Or do you quilt it on the machine, like I did with the one that I just showed you? And the one that I'm working on now is also one that I plan to do um, on the machine. So you still incorporate embroidery. And once you learn how, which I'm going to have to learn how to do the edge to edge, then it does save you from having to send it out or having to invest in more machinery or equipment like the little rebel and the cutie frames and all of that kind of stuff, which are very tempting and something that I would be interested in getting if I had the money and the room, because the price of it is not horrible. And if you are a quilter per se, it's definitely, in my opinion, worth it. But you're doing your own mini long arming, which I think is pretty cool. So back to the subject. We have collected, and I know I have, drawers full of gadgets, clips, frames, feet, magnets, laser alignments, mystery rulers, little metal objects, and all of that kind of stuff. And what do we do with them? I don't know. Some of the things are very useful. Some of the things I think was a waste of time, energy, and money. But that tends to be something that we do often. And if we have things like that, share and let us know, because I'm going to show you a couple of things that I have yet to figure out how to use it. I put it that way. I know what it's for, but I have yet to figure out how to use it. And Quilt for Joy says, quilting and embroidery are great because you can make clothes, tote bags, pot holders, and on and on and on, which is true, which is true. And that's what I like as well. That expands your quilting experience. And if you buy designs from Juju, perfect example. She incorporates quilting in most of her in the hoop projects. Most of her in the hoop projects. Our Christmas tree skirt was the perfect example. We had 45 hoopings, and all of those individual pieces we did applique and we did quilting. Don't We didn't put a batting in it. We could have if we wanted to, but we did have our SS 101 lining in it, so it gave it some stability and everything, and even a little poof, to be honest about it. But yes, that she does. I have that little flag that's hanging up next to my quilt that says something. What does it say? Go sew something. That's quilted. That has a quilting design in it, and that's a design by Juju. That's what she does. So you are incorporating quilting into your embroidery as well. And Angela said, my grandma did all of her quilting blankets by hand, no machine, but her two hands and lap. Yep, that's what they did back in the day. I know when I was a little girl and I moved down south where my grandmother was, we quilted mostly blue jean quilts. And like I said, ours was out of necessity. We weren't quilting for joy or quilting for beauty or quilting to sell or anything. We were quilting out of necessity because those were our blankets. Those were the things that we put on our beds to stay warm. And we cut up old blue jeans into pieces and stuff, and we hand sewed them together and sandwiched them and made our quilts with it. And that was my first experience with quilting. And I think that may be one of the reasons why I said I didn't want to quit, because I remember doing that. It wasn't fun to me. It was work. It was work. And Claudette says, I do both. I recently embroidered a baby quilt for a great niece. Yes. Rebecca says, a tension measurement tool that looks like a pencil and pulls the thread and it measures the tension. I cannot make this work. Okay, a tension measurement tool that looks like a pencil and pulls the thread and it measures the tension. I have not seen that one. I've not seen that one. What is the name of it? And if anybody on here is familiar with that, put something in the chat and let Rebecca know tell her how to use it. I've never seen one that looks like a pencil. I have seen one, and I think I have the name of it somewhere on here. It's a fancy dancy apparatus that that people that do industrial or commercial embroidery and have those big commercial machines tend to use them to check their tension. I don't use it. Let me see. Do. Oh, the Tower bobbin gauge, TOWA. That's the only tension mechanism that I'm aware of, and it's kind of it almost looks, well, it's not quite. It looks kind of like something along this line, but it's a little wider and a little shorter. And then it has a opening where you put your bobbin in. Yes, Rebecca, you say you have the tower. Okay. So uh, so TOWA, is that the one you're talking about? And if so, so you know how to use that. Yes, I have that one too. It is hit and miss. Okay. But then the other one, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how to use a towel. I don't have one. I've never thought to buy one because I really don't tend to have a lot of tension problems, but I am aware of it. The one that you just mentioned that looks like a pencil, I'm not aware of that either at all. Now, my machine came with a little round metal object that you could, if I think you were supposed to tie your thread onto it and just kind of dangle your bobbin just to see how that works in the bobbin that's in the case, and see how that works, and if it's too loose or too tight or whatever. I don't even know how to use that because I don't really, in all honesty, I don't use any mechanism to check my tension with. Let's see. And Rebecca, you said no, it's another one, the Racoma EM10. Okay. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. The EM10, you say, is crappy for tension issues. So you're constantly, I'm assuming, working with your tension on that particular machine. I have nothing to say about Racoma or the EM10. I will leave that alone. I know stuff, but I will leave that alone. So, like I said, if anybody knows what that other tension apparatus is or how to use it, please put it in the chat so we can help Rebecca out because I am not aware of that particular one. The tower, yes, that particular one, no. I don't think I've even seen it, so that's news to me. Um, has Racoma been able to help you use that particular apparatus? Did they recommend that one? Or what made you decide, and I'm talking to you, Rebecca, what made you decide to buy that? I'm just curious, that's all. I was just wondering if how did you manage to come across that? Because again, like I said, I haven't seen it. So that's new to me. I have the pencil tension tool is called, oh, okay, the Tajima. Okay, so I'm assuming that's what the Tajima people use for the Tajima machine. Okay, no, I'm not. I don't know. Maybe if you reached out to Tajima and asked them about it, they could help you and explain how to use it and everything. Because I really don't know. Or go to an embroidery shop if you have like lid or any of those that are in the mall and stuff to do the caps and stuff. I know Lid does, and Lid uses Tajima. Maybe they have one, and you can check with them. And Rebecca, you have two Racomas. The first one is the EM1010, and they're okay. I have two Racomas. The first one was the EM1010, and their customer service is horrible. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. What is your other one? Do you have like the 15 needle one? I've heard that the 15 needle one is better than the EM1010. And they have the new creator. I don't know anything about it. I just know that they have a new 10 needle embroidery machine, and I think they call it the creator. I don't know if it's better than the EM1010 or not. I don't know anybody that has it, but I'm so sorry to hear that you're having issues with your EM1010. That is not fun. But yeah, go ahead and check that out and see if you can get some information. And Cindy said, what are your recommendations for surge protectors? Now, good question. My main recommendation is make sure you have one or several. Put all of your electronic equipment on a surge protector, please. I have a big surge protector, the biggest industrial one that I have my machine hooked up to. The other machines that I have are the ones that you can just buy regularly that are like extension type surge protector cords. But my machine is on this big baby. Let's see if I got a name or something. Hmm. The one I have is called Cyber Power. And I have to be honest about I don't remember where I got it or when, but it's called Cyber Power. And I probably even had it before I bought my machine because I think I was using that one from when I was just hooking it up to my computers, I believe. But that's what I have my machine and a couple of other things hooked up to. I don't have my I think I have my sawgrass hooked up to it and maybe my printer. And I think that's it. My heat press is not hooked up to the serger because it stays unplugged until I'm ready to use it because I have to plug it directly into the wall and I don't have a empty socket where I can put it in and leave it in there. So I only plug it up when I'm using it, and everything else has to, move out the way because it draws a lot of electricity. It will shut everything down. And Rebecca, you say, yes, you have the 1500 and it's better. Yes, I have been told exactly that. There are 1500 and bigger machines are better than the EM1010. So, not from my mouth. Um, Take that into consideration. Now, Cindy, you're asking, what do you recommend? The surge protector, like I said, for your machines, especially your embroidery machine, and especially if you have an industrial or a multi-needle machine, I would definitely get the strongest surge protector possible, because you do not want any kind of surge or anything to hit that machine and knock it out. So that's exactly what I would do. And everything else I have on a surge protector, my computers, all of my electronic equipment that I have, my scanning cuts and everything is plugged into a serger, not directly into the wall socket. And Danielle is saying, be sure that you make sure your surge protector is UL rated. Definitely, yes. Definitely do that. Thank you. Um, I have something which is really small. I don't know if you guys can see it. You see this, both ends, this end has a hook on it. I'm moving it. This end has like a little, this is the hook, and this is the little fork. Now this was recommended to me by one of the people that watches me, and she uses it her to grab the thread on her multi-needle machine so she can pull it down and thread the machine, because there's a little hook that your thread has to go into on the brother machine, and you have to just kind of bring it down and maneuver it under that little catch before you can put it into the auto threader. And I just use my regular tweezer. I've been doing it ever since I had it. She recommended this, said that this works really well and is easy. And I also saw Sean, Savvy Sean, um, Go Savvy Design, the Sean from there. She mentioned it on one of her Fun Day Sundays, and I forgot what they called it, but they were talking about how wonderful this thing is. I have yet to figure out how to use it. I tried and I couldn't use it. And I was disappointed because I specifically bought it because it was, again, recommended. And I bought it. And I was told that it was, going to do the do. And it made wood if I knew how. I don't know how. So if anybody knows what this is and how to use it, please put that in the chat, because that's what I'm bringing out, stuff that I have that I don't know how to use. And if you guys have stuff, tell me about it. And Carol, you're saying, I keep thinking about heat press unplugged is a very wise move. I am a bit paranoid about fire risk. Well, yes, yes, because it draws a lot of power. And even if it's not on, as we all know, it's still drawing power. So it can definitely, our equipment and stuff that we have in our studio can increase our electric bills. And even though they're not on, so yeah, and that the heat press, joke. When I use this big heat press that I have, I turn um my embroidery machine off, and I may even unplug it, to be perfectly honest about it. And I turn off. I've even turned lights off, because I've plugged it in. I tried to plug it into the serger, that did not work. It blew a fuse. So I plugged it into the wall. The machine was, I forgotten, the machine was running, which I, was it running or just, no, it was on. It wasn't running, it was on. I wasn't using it, but it was on. I forgot to turn it off. So now I never have it even on when I'm going to use the heat press. And like I said, there have been times when I actually unplugged my embroidery machine. I've turned off a couple of lights and I've turned off like my printers and stuff. And then I'll use the heat press because, I don't know what the wattage and how everything is set up in my room because it did blow the light a few times. And I was like, okay, it's having an issue here. So if I'm going to use it, I got to make sure that it's not using up juice from else or taking juice from somewhere else. And Cindy is thanking Danielle. I recently heard that surge protectors can go bad if they protected too many times. That was news to me. I don't know about that. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. And Jenny, I guess you say you've never seen that tool before. And Deborah, hey Deborah, how you doing? You use that tool to thread your multi-needle machine and it works very well. Good, Deborah. Thank you. You can show me how to use it tomorrow night if you come on. If you come on to the Zoom, please show me because in all honesty, Jackie was the one that, and if you guys remember Jackie from our group, was the one that suggested it and I bought it and I haven't figured out how to use it. So if you use it and you know how, show me how to do that tomorrow night. Because I bought it and I wanted to use it, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. And it was like irritating me. Um, what else? Oh, this is another thing that I bought that I'm kind of disappointed with. It is a piece of junk, really. It's a rotary cutter. Okay, it's a rotary cutter and it's got the scallop edge and I have more than one scallop blade, but it doesn't cut well. And I don't know if it's because it's inexpensive or if it was even worth it or anything. Has anybody bought one of these or something like this and had any luck with it? I got it because I just thought it would be cute to have like a ruffled edge or a decorative edge on some of the things that you cut out, like if you're doing a fussy cut or something like that. But I have not gotten this thing to work correctly. I get jagged. It's almost like using a dull pinking shear, to be honest about it. Because even with your pinking shears, if they're not up to par, they're a waste of money. And I have several that are a waste of money to me. Just like my these things here. And I know people use them and love them. Duck bills. I bought duck bills when I first started embroidering. And they cut well, but I'm left-handed. And you said, well, get a left-handed one. This is a Vamore, left-handed duckbill. I can't cut a thing with this thing here. Cannot cut a thing. This one, oh, they're both Vamore. This is also Vamore, left-handed duckbill. Can't cut a thing. This one is a regular right-handed duckbill. I can cut. It's weird. I can cut with this. The problem is the duck bill does not go where it's supposed to go because it's in the wrong hand. This needs to go under. It goes on top if I'm using it with my left hand. So it's not doing what it was meant to do. Therefore, I chose to get the left hand, but it won't cut. And that's crazy to me. Why it will not cut. And I bought both of them. So these were like I have another pair of left-handed scissors, just straight shears, and I don't use them. Anything that's for the left hand, for some reason, does not work well with me, which is very disappointing. I forgot. Carol said, I forgot. Carol said, I had forgotten all about my duck bills. I do like them for applique. I use the curve um, applique scissors, and I love my curved applique scissors. I can just cut, 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 cut. I enjoy using those. But the duck bill, they, that's why they're not even with my other scissors. I just move them out because it was just taking up space. I don't use them. I hate that. I really do hate that because the usefulness of it is there. And Robin, you say you love your duck bill. You use them both ways. Okay. And Cindy, you say you have curved duck bills by Gingers and you use them all the time. It's your favorite. Okay, good. I wish I could. As you can see, I do have duck bills. I have 3 pair and I don't use any of them anymore. I wish I could. Hey, EJ's daughter, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. How are you doing? And you say you also have the scallop blade in a rotary cutter. It's worthless to you as well. It's worthless to me. Yeah, it is worthless. I'm glad to hear it ain't just me because I was like, did I do something wrong or what? And it's disappointing because I really had high hopes for the scallop rotary cutter, but that ain't doing it for me either. Quill for Joy said, I just found out there are sewing machines for left-handed people. Well, I be doggone. I had no idea. I'm trying to visualize that. I am definitely trying to. I can't imagine. I can't imagine how to use that, and I can't. I can't imagine how to use that. That's interesting. Hi, Sharon Davenport. How are you? And Becky says she loves her duckbill and she's a lefty. I guess you're cutting your. You had tell me what am I doing wrong? And Carol, there should be a sewing implement swap like the baby clothing swap. Yes. And Rebecca, scallop rotary cutters could work for pastry. Yeah, because they're not doing anything for cutting fabric. I don't know who came up with that idea. The idea is good, but the mechanism is not working. And I chalk it up to the blade. I don't think they give us a good enough blade in order to cut. And Quill for Joy said, let me put you back up here. It looks weird. You can Google it, left-handed sewing. Where's my phone? Left-handed sewing machine. It sounds like it would be weird. And not only does it sound like it would be weird, it sounds like I couldn't use it. It really does sound like something that I would not be able to use because when you get used to doing something a certain way and then you switch, left-handed sewing machines. Mm. All right, show me a picture. I am not finding a picture of a left-handed sewing machine. I see them talking about it.
Come to a point where we may need to change direction. We need.
Hmm. Nope, I'm not seeing a picture of it. I see where they're talking about it, but I don't see a picture. Let me see. Amazon official shop left-handed sewing machine. Where are they? Now, Amazon claims they have it, but there is nothing on here that looks different. So, Amazon will swear they have everything under the sun. I hope you all can hear me. Amazon will swear they have everything under the sun, and then when you look it up, they don't have it. They said they have it. I don't see anything coming up that looks like a left-handed sewing machine. So that's weird to me. Everything looks the same. That is weird. That is definitely weird. Okay, here's from Reddit. Most of the left-handed sewing machine is identical to the usual machine. The only difference is, what does it say? More. Where is it? I'm not seeing anything. That's interesting. I'm not finding a picture. I wanted to see a picture of a left-handed sewing machine because I was just curious. Try images on Google. Okay. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Hmm. Is this one right here? Guess what? Stitching in a left-handed sewing machine. You heard it right. No more tangled threads go through. Yeah, okay. Let me get back to that one. That did look weird. Let me see. Everything's on the wrong side. I wouldn't be able to use that machine. I would not be able to use that machine. That is just no. I can't do it. I kind of had in my mind that that's what it looked like, but no. That would not work for me. That would not work for me. And they have some more, but I'm not seeing the pictures. But anyway, that's interesting. I never heard of a left-handed sewing machine. I'll have to look at that a little bit more. A little bit more. It's just that the motor is on the left side. Okay, I don't think I could use a left-handed sewing machine me either. I am seeing a few when I use images. Yep, yep. It would be in reverse. If I find one, I would get one. I am hardcore lefty. Well, if you ever get a left-handed sewing machine, Eva Marie, please let me know how that works and if you like it. Because for me, I don't think I could do it. And Angela says that's like driving on the right side in the USA. You definitely wrong. And Eva is a trooper. I'm a lefty, but I don't know about all that. And like driving in England, everything is on the opposite side. Exactly. I know when I see the movies and stuff, because I've not been to Europe, but when I see the movies and things where people are on, I call the wrong side, they're on the right side driving. The steering wheel is on the right side. That looks so crazy to me. I I probably would hit everything under the sun trying to drive that thing. That is so fun. I never knew that there was a left-handed sewing machine. So you learn something all the time. I'm telling you, every time you come on here, you're gonna learn something. And that one, that is new to me. I never ever heard of a left-handed sewing machine. That is pretty good. Pretty good. Um, Now this is a question, and I'm sure most of you guys use this. How many people use fabric markers? I use fabric markers. I don't use them all the time, and I tell you the black runs out before anything. I guess because using that, I have I like fabric markers. Anybody else use them and like them? And I have to be honest about it. I have used this for corrections, like if it was a skip stitch or something like that that was missing, especially when I was making some things for my great granddaughter, and I was stitching letters and stuff, and when I finished it and everything, I looked and it missed something, and I loved it. That particular brand works well, but I use a lot of the black. But Cindy, you say you haven't. It works well. It's a good gadget, if you want to call it gadget tool or whatever. It's a good gadget to have because I it has helped me in some desperate situations where a mistake was made and you don't want to have to do the whole thing over. And if you have the right color, you can fill that thing in and keep on going, and it works. And Robin says she uses fabric markers. And even Marie, when I was in college, no one could understand my binders because they were made for left-handers. Yep. Um, Sharon says my mom had to learn everything left-handed to teach me. She even taught me how to use Marcel thermal irons when I was in beauty school. I I do nothing right-handed. That'd be me. Everything I do when I was a kid, one thing that stands out, I was not athletic. I did run track. That was the only thing that I did. I ran track and I was a major in the band. That's the only athletic anything that I ever did. I did try to play softball with people because folks wanted to play softball and they want you to participate. But I was never good at it because I had to bat left handed, and that confused people, including myself. I had to catch, if I'm an outfielder, I have to catch with my left hand. But the bad part is I had to pull the glove out right quick and throw the ball back with my left hand. So somebody's going to make base by the time I do all of that. So I was horrible. I cannot catch with my right hand. I cannot throw with my right hand. I cannot write with my right hand. I cannot do most of anything. My right hand is just an appendage that I have on my body to keep it symmetric. That's it. That's what I tell people. It has no value. It's just here to look cute. I don't do anything with my right hand. Now I have tried to write with my right hand just to make myself right, just in case, Lord forbid, something happens and I have to. But I do everything with my left hand, and I hate it. But yeah. And Jenny, you say you use fabric markers as well. I love fabric markers. Even Marie said. And what did she say about leather? And leather markers. I don't know about leather markers. What is leather markers, Eva Marie? And Quill for Joy said, when I was extremely young, our neighbors had fabric markers and they would let me come over and play with their marker. This was over 55 years. You loved it. Okay. You marked up some fabric. Using Marcel irons were not easy and no left handed people. That's why I never did learn how to curl. I tried straightening comb. I couldn't do that mess. I couldn't do it. So, yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's because I was left-handed. And Sharon said I had to use right-handed gloves playing softball until we could afford a left-handed glove. So me too. Yep, I tell you, uh, left-handed people This is Carol saying left-handed people are the only ones in the right mind. Okay. Ah, and even Marie, I started to try to take up golf, but I knew that was going to be a losing thing. I golf and my coach struggles with me. I can see that. Okay, this is good. My daughter received a scholarship for being left-handed first baseman and pitcher. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. There are some good left, and keep in mind, there's a lot of famous left-handed people. Obama is left-handed, y'all. Okay, so we are definitely in good company. And some more left-handed people that are famous that I can't remember right now. I used to know them, but I do know for a fact that President Obama is left-handed. A to the left-handed people. And okay, leather markers are for leather making. I don't do leather, but I want to learn. And Quill for Joy, I'm a righty, but both of my children are lefties. And is your son left? I hear it's hereditary. No, none of my children are left handed. However, my grandfather was left handed. My mom was left handed. I'm left handed. My first grandson is ambidextrous, whatever, however you pronounce that, mostly left-handed, but he has learned how to use both hands. So yes, it is hereditary, but it skipped my kids. They are all right-handed. I got it. My grandfather on my father's side, and then my mother, then me, then like I said, my grandson. So yeah, and even Marie said that's right for Obama. Yep. And Rebecca McGinnis said left-handed people are supposed to be smarter. I don't know if that's true or not. But look, we are in good company, those of us that are left handed with Mr. Obama, Mr. President Obama. And who uses left handed rotary cutters? I have a left handed rotary cutter. I have the Martelli. Ta da! This is the Martelli left-handed rotary cutter. And I haven't used it in a while because I just haven't taken the time to change my blade. I do have some blades now, so I need to get in here and change my blade because I like using this rotary cutter. But this is the left-handed Martelli. I saw this at the original quilting expo, and I ordered it because she didn't have any more to sell. She only had her demo. I saw it, I tried it out, and I fell in love with it. So when I got back, I ordered mine. So I do have one. That's the only one I have. And Sharon said all her rotary cutters are left-handed. Okay. I don't know of any other rotary cutters that are left-handed other than the Martelli. But I do have that one, and I'm so glad that I have it. It's a gadget that I bought that I have no problems with. I'm glad I bought. Let me see. I want to ask you guys a question about markers. Um, Now this one says fabric marker. Now the ones that I showed you, these are permanent fabric markers. So if you use this like crayon, you're marking for good. This is permanent. It says permanent ink, non-toxic, quick dry, fine tip. And this is fabric markers, and I have used these. Probably need to get some new ones because those are old. I think they probably may be drying up. Now these are Madame So's, and these are the heat erasable matte marker. I bought some off of Amazon, and I have to be honest about it. They dried up really quickly. I used mostly the blue a lot, and I was very disappointed because I liked it, but I didn't get a chance to use them because by the time my blue was used up and I reached for another color, they were all dried up. So I haven't used any of these yet, and they do come with refills. So what are you guys' opinion about the Madam So heat erasable markers? Now I like them. The ones that I had did erase. Now I have had people say that they've had some and they don't like them, and I don't know what the brand was, but they didn't erase well with the heat. And mine did. So I'm hoping these will as well. Good night, Carol. Even Marie, you say your tape measures are left handed. You just get in here and start looking for left handed stuff. That's what I'm going to have to do. I haven't done that. So I did not know that there was such a thing of all of these different left handed products out there. I'm going to have to join a left handed club and see what all I can came up with. Rebecca says, how do y'all keep your blades from coming loose on your rotary cutter? I always have to tighten the blade. I do too, and I think it's because I'm left-handed, and I think I may be using them incorrectly, or either have them incorrectly. I'm not sure because I try to remember to put them back in the way I took it out, but sometimes I forget, and I know that they don't roll. Like I have a Femori, and I love it, but every once in a while I think I put them in wrong, and it doesn't cut well. It doesn't roll smoothly, and I think it's because they're in incorrectly because I'm left-handed and I know I'm probably putting them in incorrectly. That is probably, but I don't. Somebody answer that question for her, if you can, because I have the same problem, Rebecca. I have the same problem. Mine does come uh, loose a lot as well. And Quill for Joy says, instead of using heat eraser marker, I use a large basting stitch that I can take out when I'm done, or I use masking tape. Okay. Now, that's what you're quilting. But there are situations where, because I use chalk as well. When I'm making my quilting lines and stuff like that, or even when I was doing my coat and everything, and I wanted to mark where my stitching line, I actually just use chalk. What I did notice though, when I'm sewing on my sewing machine, all of that chalk powder came up. So I know that's affecting my machine because I have to get in there and clean all that stuff out. So I'm not 100% comfortable with using chalk a lot for sewing and stuff because it's almost like lint. You're going to get the chalk powder that's going to come up from the line that you wrote, that you drew. My heat friction and Robin, you say you use friction heat erasable markers and haven't had a problem. These are not that brand. These are Madam So. I'm gonna try these. If these give me issues, then I'm gonna try friction, Robin, because I've heard of those. And even Marisa, there's a left-handed website. Yeah, I think I've been on one before. And Cindy, my left-handed friend, has one that if you flip-flop the screw and bolt to the other side, it becomes left-handed. They're fist guards. Okay, that's interesting. I do have some fist guards. Oh, cool for George said, Eva, you ain't playing. You are truly left. And she said, yes, ma'am, I am. I am too. I mean, you know what? Those of us that are lefty, and obviously it's at least three of us so far, maybe four, that's on here that we're chit chatting about. As I mentioned before, it's a struggle. It really is. It's a struggle because everything we do that right-handed people take for granted, we have to relearn. We have to figure out a way to do it that makes sense. Like specifically, I keep telling you guys I can't cut a straight line, and I know it's because the ruler and everything is set up for right-handed people. and I'm left-handed. So I'm at a disadvantage already, and I have to maneuver my fabric and my ruler and everything where I can cut it lefty, not right. And I mean, if I put the ruler down and go like that, that's normal. That's normal. That's normal. But I'm putting the ruler down with the right hand and I'm on the left side. So my fabric is even turned. I'm going from one direction to the other where you guys go this way to that. I'm going this way to that because everything is backwards. That's the dilemma of a left-handed person. We even have to think about where we sit when we go out to eat because we eat with our left hand and the elbow is moving. So most of the time everybody is right-handed, so nobody is knocking the other person. But if you're right-handed and I'm left-handed, we're bumping elbows. So I'm always looking for an end seat, either the head or the end. I hate sitting in the middle because if I sit in the middle between two right-handed people, it makes it inconvenient for me and the person that I'm sitting next to because of the elbow. People don't think about that, but that's something that we have to keep in our heads. At least I do as a left-handed person. Just simply, where the heck are you going to sit when you eat? Now, Robin said, I'm right-handed, but I eat with my left hand. Okay, that's interesting. And Eva Marie says, yes, we have a very hard time. Yes, we do. And Robin said, there are left handed rulers. Uh, yeah. And I'm going to have to start looking into that. I'm going to have to start looking into that. And so Cindy said that's how she makes her fist guards to make them left handed. I never knew that. I never knew that. EJ's daughter said, I use a yellow chalk marker and turn my presser foot yellow. It scared me at first because I could not remember where it came. Yeah, that chalk powder gets on your machine. It gets on your pressure foot. My pressure foot was completely white, and I was constantly dusting, constantly had my brush dusting the powder off and going down and cleaning it up and everything when I used the chalk. So I didn't have I didn't have any of these available, and so I used the chalk. Um, I had this chalk. And this is from, I believe this is Madame So as well. Yeah. And I know Marina was saying it was hard for her to get this chalk off. So I was a little leery about using it. And this is a Madame So chalk as well. It's really cute and everything, but I was leery about using it because Marina mentioned that she uses this or she did use it and it was hard to get off. And I didn't want any residue. I didn't want any residue. Now, I have another question. Gadgets. I don't know how to use a needle threader. I just thread fingers and eyes like I learned how to do. I have no clue how to use this thing. I don't know how to use a needle threader. None of the needle threaders that I have do I know how to use. That is the weirdest thing. And I have to tell you, I have looked at videos and when I get ready to do it, I still can't do it. Something's not quite right. It does not compute to me. But I can't use a needle threader and somebody needs to show me how. So tomorrow night I'm going to be the student and I'm going to have you guys teach me. All of you that's coming on the Zoom tomorrow night that knows how to use the things that I'm talking about, y'all going to have to teach me Sharon says, my brother and I were always sat on the end on opposite sides of the table because we were both left handed. Yep. And Claudette says, I'm the only one in my family of five that is right handed. Okay. So you were the outsider. And Quill for Joy. Needle threaders have me stumped too. I'm so glad I'm not the only one. Because I was like, I can't figure this out. And I've seen people use them and it's like, oop, oop, oop. And I'm like, it ain't working for me. And Claudia says, yes, you were teased. You were teased as the outsider because you were the only right handed one. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. That is too funny. I had never heard that before. Usually it's the left handed person that is the oddball ball out. That is too funny. Yes, it is. Um, Let me see if there's any other tool in here. Uh, Alignment tools. And I have some alignment tools and I didn't even pull them out. Because I have to be honest about I don't use them anymore. I did when I first started embroidering, but I've gotten lazy and I don't use my alignment tools because I rely a lot on my hooping station. And that's why uh, when I'm looking for the center line, I do have, are they here? I don't know where they are. I have them. Nope. I don't know. I don't know where they are. But anyway, I do have the plastic alignments that you can put across the chest and measure when you're doing vinyls and stuff like that. I have those. I do have rulers for that as well. Um, but that's pretty much what I use. Good night, Angela. And she is reminding everybody to hit the like button. Please hit the like button, everybody. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you so much. Um, Quill for Joy says, my only complaint is I buy blades for my rotary cutter and they never install correctly, and I have to buy a whole new rotary cutter. It's so frustrating. It should be easy to replace the blade. I am in agreement with you, Quill for Joy. And like I was mentioning a few minutes ago, I try to remember exactly how the order in which I took it out so I can put it back the exact same way because you are correct. And I've even tried to switch it around and stuff. If you don't put the blade back exactly the way it's supposed to go in there, it messes up your cutter. That's one of the reasons why I haven't changed this one because it costs too much money to mess up and I don't want to mess it up and have it all jacked up. And why that's an issue, I don't know. It shouldn't putting a blade in a in a rotary cutter should be a simple process, but it's not, especially those of us that are left-handed because our brains work opposite. We do things in the reverse, and I think that's part of the problem. And the reason something as simple as putting a blade into a rotary cutter should not be difficult, but it is. So I agree with you 100%, Quill for Joy. I like I say, you guys are opening my eyes because now I'm not feeling like it's just me. Because at some point I was feeling like I am just the one that's having all of these issues and stuff with with all these little gadgets and stuff like rotary cutters and duck bill scissors And I never even thought about left-handed rulers and left-handed measuring tapes and stuff like that. That is really interesting to me to know that they have it. And we're turning this talk into a left-handed talk. And I'm sorry about that, that we tend to be dominating that. But that is an issue and a concern for those of us that are left-handed, because we are in the minority, and it is definitely a different way of doing things. And Quilper Joyce, I have knowingly put two blades in at one time. Really? I was thinking the same thing. Time to pitch the unit, not just the blades. A friend told me to check it. I did not think of it. Oh, I guess unknowingly. I'm sorry. I thought you said knowingly. I was just saying, so why would you do that? You unknowingly put two blades in. Yes, that's easy to do because with the oil on them, they do stick. And you have to be really careful, as you know, when you're putting your blades in, to make sure that you don't cut yourself. So I am very cautious when I'm putting them in, but I do try to make sure that I separate them. Now, I don't use any protective gloves or anything like that. I do use my hand. I just try my best to be extremely careful, and I touch the blade as little as possible. If I use like a scissor or something, or a tweezer or something to separate whatever object that I can use to move the blade around where I don't have to handle it with my hands that much, that's what I do, because I don't want to cut myself. And hi, Miss Joy, how are you? And even Marie said, no, this is good info. Well, thank you. Yeah, it is good info for everybody really to know that if you have, for those of you that are right handed, but you have friends, relatives, co workers, colleagues, whatever, that are left handed, give them a little slack because they need it. And for those that you know that are in the crafting world, and they are left-handed, they may need a little help. And if you're looking for gifts to give them and stuff, something that is pertaining to being left-handed is something that would be very helpful and nice, because um, we do adapt. I have adapted to practically every product there is available to use, because I don't have that many left-handed things. And when it comes down to left-handed scissors, I bought the left-handed duck bills and I bought a pair of left-handed scissors. And I don't know why, but I have been unable to use them. I can't get them to cut. So I don't even try to buy left-handed scissors anymore. And my Martelli is the only left-handed rotary cutter that I bought. But I will be looking into other companies, because I like the Fumore and I like the Ola, I think is what it is. I love those two rotary cutters, and if they have the left-handed ones, that would be even better, because maybe I can put the blades in and don't mess them up. Now, they talk about different gadgets and what have you that people tend to buy. And somebody mentioned, I talked about the Mighty Hoop, and I talked about this new hoop here. And some people mention the dime hoops and stuff, and these are all good products to use. I don't have anything negative to say about either one of them, because they all have their purpose and they all work. Some I believe work better. Some I'm familiar totally with the Mighty Hoop. I have used a different brand of magnetic hoop for my SE 1900, the ones with the little round magnets on it. And this one I do like. It works well. It comes with a grid. I don't know. I took the grid out. I have no clue where to put it. because they suggest that you don't save it, hang it up with the magnets on it like this. And I had taken it off and stacked them. I just put them on just for visual for tonight. And I took the grid off, and I don't remember where I put it. It's weird. I stuck it somewhere, and I don't remember where I stuck it. But anyway, it does come with a grid. And I don't use my grids that much. For one reason, I I have a different way of doing my alignments and measurements and stuff like that. After a while you get used to doing them, and you come up with your own unique way of doing it. And that's pretty much what I've done as far as my measurements and all that kind of stuff is concerned. So I don't use the grids. I have them saved in a drawer. And I got to find the grid for that particular one and put it with it as well. And Miss Joy is telling people, don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Um, and I do want to remind you about the video that I put up about that particular hoop. If you all can watch it, and if you find yourself interested in getting one, hit the link, and it'll take you straight to their store. And there is a discount if you use my code. That link, it is a discount. If you use my link, there is a discount if you're going to buy one or what have you. Have any of you used Durkee frames or Hoop Tech frames? Yeah, Hoop Tech frames. I have both. The fast frames and the Durkee frames are basically the same concept. They're just different companies. And the Durkee, I personally like, I've had them both. Um, I had the fast frame with a different embroidery machine, multi-needle embroidery machine, and they did not, I couldn't switch out the arm. So I had to get rid of the whole product, the whole system, and I was lucky enough to sell it. And then I bought the Durkee frames to fit uh, my brother machine. And I'm kind of glad I did, because I like the Durkee frames, me personally, better than the fast frame, because I think they're a little bit more stable. But I have to admit, I don't do a lot of free, I don't do a lot of floating. Um, And with the Durkee frame, it's not really floating, because you are using sticky stabilizer with the Durkee frames or the fast frame. I don't do a lot of that anymore. It just depends upon what I'm making. When I was doing a lot of baby clothes and stuff like that, I used it quite a bit because it's small, and you needed a frame to get to small places like baby caps and the sleeves and different things that were really really small. And like if you're trying to do a pocket or something, and it's useful if you're using a smaller frame than what my mighty hoops were. So that's what made me go to the Durkee frame and use it. And as far as my hoop tech, I used that when I was stitching on purse. I have stitched on faux leather purses and things like that, and I've used my hoop tech frame. Even though you can use Mighty Hoop as well, you don't necessarily. It just depends upon how thick your your project is, whether you need to do hoop tech with the clamps, or if you can actually use the Mighty Hoop with just the magnetic. And then I also have some shoes that I have shoe um, frames as well. And Miss Joy says, "What are the grids actually?" Okay, the grids are the purpose of a grid is for alignment. And let me see if I can get a hold of my grid. Another in a drawer. This drawer. Here are all of my grids that came with my mighty hoop, not mighty hoop, with my regular hoops. This is a grid. This came with my big um, 8 by 14 hoop, the plastic hoops. This is a grid that came with my repositional hoop for my SE 1900. And here's a smaller grid. I think this is for the 4 by 4. These are grids. They're, as you can see, it is a grid, and it's basically to help you align your project inside of the hoop. And I personally, in all honesty, I don't use my grids anymore. I got them all in the bag somewhere in a drawer because, first of all, I don't use my plastic hoops anymore. That's the main reason why I don't use the grids. I have no purpose for them because I don't use it. And with the Mighty Hoop, they have notches and everything where you know your centers, and I just kind of measure it, and I use my um, Mighty hooping station. I know how to align it up so it's going to be in the middle and everything. I do have what they call snowmen, where uh, you can position it on your 10 needle machine, and I also have other alignment stickers. And mostly, if I need to align something, I do have some alignment tools. I don't even know where they are because I don't use them anymore. But there are alignment tools that I use where it shows you from the neck down and from under the arm where you can put your left chest logo. But since I use my Mighty hooping station 99.9% of the time, that's what I use. That's why I'm not using alignment tools or Mighty hoops anymore. And that's what a good ruler is for, or a tape measure. So those are grids. And even I like my magnetic hoop that came with my machine, 5 by 7. Oh, good, you got one. And Miss Joy Eva, I thought you had a pulling like mine. Okay. Um, and Miss Joy said, I got a bunch that came with my machine. I just don't know what to do with them. Okay. Well, again, they're for alignments. And if you, let me show you, because again, I don't use them anymore, but I did when I first started. Because when I first started, I tried to do everything by the book. And then you get to the point where you think you know everything, so you stop, which is not necessarily good practice. But let me see if I'm trying to find one that's not so big. This one came with, it's almost like the one that goes with there because it's a magnetic hoop. If you see, can you see the little dots on it? It's a notch and a dot and a dot and a dot and a dot and a dot. It's a dot, 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 dot in the middle, dot. These dots are where you can take a marker uh, or something that's erasable, and you can mark where your center points are. You want the center of your design, and then this is the crosshair. So basically, you're making a crosshair. So you're going to have the center, then you can draw a line here and a line there, and that's your crosshair that you have made on your project, so you can get the center. So when that helps you to align your project, so you, if it's a left chest logo, or center of the design down the front or whatever. That's the whole purpose of these grids. But at some point in your embroidering experiences, you get to the point where you figure out a way where you really come up with something that is a little bit easier, I guess. And whereas you find that you don't need to use the grids. And for me, since like I said, I don't use my plastic hoops anymore. I only use mighty hoops. Mighty hoops don't come with grids because they pretty much think that you're going to use your hooping station, which has all of the numbers and stuff on it that helps you to align stuff. They have the center and they have top to bottom. They have all of the stuff that helps you align on the hooping station where you don't need a grid. So that's why I have not used a grid in years. But that's the whole purpose of the grid. And if you already, even Marie says they go inside the hoop measuring and centering your project. That's exactly what they do. And Cindy said, I like my grids. They are great if doing multiples. I place washi tape on the grid to speed the placement up. My grid has a 1/4 inch marking. Yeah. And there, Miss Joy said, thank you, ladies. And Cindy said, I also use it to show me the stitchable area on the hoop. Yeah. So, hey, Sean, how are you? Girl, I haven't seen you in a hot minute. I'm hoping all is well because I've been checking your channel for new stuff and I hadn't seen. The other day I saw the passport thing, but I hadn't seen you in a hot minute. I was like, what's up with my girl? What's up with my girl? But thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate that, of course. Um, so Miss Joy said, I just got a magnetic hoop from Amazon with a grid. Okay, there you go. So now you know what it's for and all of that and how to use them. And Carol, Carol said, I need to clean out my craft closet this week. I'm sure I will find several other items I don't use or forget I had. Yes, you will, because I know I was going through stuff and um, I pulled out wash away tape, which I have yet to use. I got this. Keeps your seams and fabrics from moving. Tape simply disappears after the first washing. And I'm wondering if, for those of you that quilt, is this something good to use for your binding? If you're going to put a binding on, I'm curious because I think that's what I got it for, to help me with my binding. So let me know because I'm in the process of putting this quilt together and I was just curious if anybody's familiar with this tape, this type of tape and quilting. Is this something that you would use? The other thing that this little thing here, I have two of these, and I could not get the oil. And this is one of them. I could not get the oil to come out of this thing to save my neck. And I like the little pin oil. I love it because you only get a little drop and that's all you need. But I didn't realize that until you have to take this, unscrew it, and stick a hole in it. And I didn't know that. So if anybody has one of these and it's not working, that's what I discovered, that you literally have to put a hole in here. You have to unscrew it and put a hole in it to get the oil to come out. Because I was like, this is a waste of my money. I cannot get the oil to come out of this for nothing. Uh, and Quilt for Joy said there's wash away thread. Never heard of that. Wash away thread. I've heard of invisible thread. I don't know. Yes, I think I did. I think Robin told us about that. And Cindy said, I've heard that. I also heard they use for stitching in zippers. Okay. The this tape that I just showed you, they use that for zippers. Is that what you're saying? And Miss Joy is, I guess she's talking to, can't get it. I'll be in Vegas the first week of July. Are you going to Socation at South Point? And I'm not going. I don't know if you're talking to me or talking to Sean, since she lives in Vegas or near Vegas. And even Marisa, I like that pen oiler. Robin says she has wash away thread. Yeah, I think you told me you had wash away thread. I don't have wash away thread. Okay. What else that I wanted to ask about? Oh, I was gonna show you guys this thing here. Have you seen this or anything like this? And I'm gonna have to tell you. I'm pretty sure you can figure out what it is. Complete waste of money. Complete waste of money. I bought this thing, and this thing cost at least 50 some odd dollars because somebody recommended it. I want to say it was John Deere, but I always had issues winding a bobbin. Don't know why. And I bought that thing to wind my bobbin because I was told it was the best thing since sliced bread. Now I don't know. Um, yeah, Robin is the bobbin winder, but I have never yet gotten it to work right, and I regret so much that I spent that kind of money because I got the other one, the smaller plastic one, and those things aren't cheap either. It worked a little bit, but not well. So I bought that one long time ago, several years ago, and I never got that one to work right either. So I think it's just me, but um, it was money not well spent. I put it that way because it has not served me well. Now the machine that I have now, my Janome 6700P, I haven't wind a bobbin on it yet, but I'm going to do that. Maybe it will be this week. And I'm hoping it's going to end up being my savior here because it looks like it's really easy and simple to do. And I'm hoping that's going to be the go-to going forward with winding bobbins. But I normally use pre-wound bobbins even for my all my machines, my sewing machine, my SE 1900, as well as my 10 needle machine. My 10 needle machine, I use magnetic self wound bobbins. I don't use any other kind of bobbins on there except for magnetic self wind bobbins. So I love that. Ha ha. Okay, Sean said you bought that bobbin winder too, and it didn't do nothing but stress me out. Yeah, yeah, it was a complete waste of money for me because I couldn't get it to act right either. So again, not that I'm glad that you had issues, but I feel better to know that it wasn't just me. It was not just me. And even Marie says it is an art to winding and bobbing on your machine. You must practice for an even bob. I guess so. And you know what? Back in the day, when I was sewing with Singers and Kenmore, little bitty cheap home machines that I first learned how to sew on, we didn't have options but to wind our own bobbins. I never had a problem winding bobbins. Winding a bobbin was a simple thing to do. It wasn't until all these fancy dancing machines came about and you spending all that money and you can't get the bobbin winder to work right. That is ridiculous. My bobbin winder on my SE 1900 is a hit and a miss. Sometimes I can use it and it winds perfectly, and then sometimes I use it and it's just making a total mess. And it just doesn't make any sense. That's why I went to just using plain pre-wound bobbins and forgetting about it because I'm tired of wasting thread and time and energy. And Miss Joy said, I just been buying boxes. Me too. Of pre. That's exactly what I do. I don't buy. I buy pre-wound bobbins. That's all. Even the colored ones. I buy bobbins that have a variety of colors in it. So I'm good when it comes down to bobbins and stuff. I just make that investment. And EJ's daughter says she bought my big bobbin one, came with my HQ Sweet 16. It worked it worked okay for me. Now is that a quilting machine? Because I'm thinking that's what that is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is. If that's a quilting machine or not. Because I don't have that. And I'm not quite sure I know exactly what it is. Now, you guys are talking about going to, even Marie said, have you tried the pre wound without case? No. The, I'm not sure what you're asking me. I'm not sure what you're asking me, Eva Marie. Socation in Vegas. I'm not going, I'm not aware of this particular event. But as I mentioned to you guys last week, I am going to the Everything Embroidery Market Expo in Biloxi, Mississippi in October. And I know there's a couple of people that come on here that are going to. Hopefully, there will be some more. I hope so. Uh, the registration is open now. I would love to see more people. That would be great. That would be great. I'm also going to go to the original sewing and quilting um, expo that is going to be here in Missouri, out right down the street from, well, not down the street, but not that far from me in Overland Park, Kansas. That I'll be able to drive every day to go there. So that's in August. So I'll be, I think it's the 7th, 8th, and 9th of August, I believe, and I will be attending that. So those are the two expos that I know that I will be going to this year. And hopefully there will be other people that will show up at either one of them. I don't know. But hopefully next year we can get maybe a group of people and decide which event a bunch of us are going to go to. I think that would be a lot of fun if we can get a group of 20 to come from all over the country, because we're on here from all over the country, and meet up at one of these big events. That would be so cool and so much fun. We can talk about it maybe towards the end of this year, look up and see what's happening and what people tend to go to, what's good, and maybe in a middle meeting point somewhere like Texas, I think is like middle of the country or something. They have the big Houston quilting festival or something there. Um, something. It's all kinds of different events that occur that I know I'm not that aware of. Like socation, I'm not really aware of what socation is. I'll be at Socation. That's in Vegas. I had to look that up because I've heard of it, but I'm not aware of what that is. And I guess that's in Vegas. I would love to come to Vegas, but I can't do too many trips because I'm going to Orlando in July for my birthday celebration. Then I'm going to um, Mississippi in October. So those are two traveling things that I'm doing. And then the one that's here, I don't have to worry about that. That's not going to be an expense because I can go and come back every day. So that's not, hotel and travel and all that kind of stuff. So that one won't be an expense. But I know going to Orlando and going to Biloxi, Mississippi is an expense. And I have to look at that. But anyway, so you guys, please do not forget to give me a thumbs up. And Mark, hey Margot, I didn't see you. How are you? You purchased the Brother Bobbin winder for the multi needle, and it works well. I didn't know Brother had one. That's good to know. And Cindy, I have to say goodnight. We're all getting ready to say goodnight. And even Marie, I believe Candle Thread have pre-wound bobbins with no case, just thread. Oh, okay. No, I haven't tried them, Eva Marie, and I don't think I will because I will most likely always do the magnetic ones. And my SE 1900 is very particular about what it uses, and I use Brother Bobbins for that one. And my Janome, I don't know if it's fussy yet or not. I'm just starting with her, so I don't know if she would be fussy. And Miss Joy is saying, I would love to plan ahead for something like that. Okay, we can look into that. And EJ's daughter said the Quilt Expo is here in Castle Rock, Colorado at the end of the month, and you'll be there. Good. Anybody going there? And Miss Joy said, y'all never come to the West. How about Road to California? Yeah. Well, Vegas is west of me. I would like to go to the Impression Expo in Long Beach. I've always wanted. That's in January. That's not necessarily a quilt show or an embroidery show. It's an industry show, and they have some of everything. And what I like about the Impression, and I don't know who all goes or who has been or who even has an interest in it. They have very innovative products. They have all of this equipment and machines and what have you that shows you what's happening in the future. They also have blanks and mighty hoops and different stuff like that as well. So there's something there for everybody. But what I really, and I've not been to one, I've just seen people that have videoed their experience. And what I like about it is learning what's coming out, what's new, what's the latest and greatest. Even though I may never ever be able to get any of that kind of stuff or even need that kind of stuff, but it's interesting to know what the industry is moving towards and what the latest and greatest stuff is. Um, and Miss Joyce, you've been to the Long Beach Impression. Good. And Sean says she'll be in Cali next week. So, Miss Joy, maybe you and Sean, if you all anywhere near each other, can hook up. That sounds like fun. Well, it is after 9 here, so that means it's after 10 on the East Coast for those that are on the East Coast. So you guys have the latest time. And okay, the West Coast is the earlier time. It is what, 7 o'clock there. But I do have to go to work in the morning. I work on Wednesdays and Thursdays, so I am going to call it quits. Say good night to everybody. Thank you guys for participating. Thank you guys for dropping by. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button, thumbs up, hit the notification bell if you have not. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. Doesn't cost you a dime to subscribe. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I am definitely growing and trying to continue to grow. And I have goals. So, with that being said, thank you so much for your support. I do appreciate it. And thank you so much. I'm going to say good night. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your week. And I will see you next week. Good night, everybody.